Hello everyone, photographer Andredesignz here with a new retouch video. Alright, so today we'll be retouching this photograph and I will be leaving a link to the raw image so you can edit with me. This image was taken back in 2007, last year, and I did not shot this image in raw. So the image that you'll be working on is a JPEG image. Alright, it's a high quality image. I think it's about 12 meg, so you have enough information in there for you to do edits. Alright, so I'm just gonna go right ahead and start to edit. I'm in Lightroom right now, and as you can see, I was using the Tamron 7200 lens, which I no longer own. Yeah, and I think I was using the 7100 D7100 camera, so it wasn't a full frame camera. Alright, so Control E to go over to Photoshop. So I'm gonna edit the original. Alright, good. So now I'm in Photoshop. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do, and if you watch my previous videos you'll know, the first thing I do is to go over to the action panel, and I select the frequency separation action. Because this is an 8-bit image, and the reason why it's an 8-bit image is because of JPEG. I'm just going to use the 8-bit action. The radius is always at 10. I've never changed it from 10 to something else. It's always at 10, so I'm just going to keep it at 10. I'm just going to go down to the low frequency layer, and I'm going to get my mixer brush. The mixer brush is normally under brush, so once you hold on brush, you should see a list come down, and the mixer brush is under there. Ensure that the mixer brush is cleared, so you come right here to the mixer brush option and you clear it, and I think this will highlight automatically. The wetness should be at 2. You can change it to whatever number you want it to be, but I think 2, the percentage at 2 works better for me, and since I'm using 2, I suggest use 2 as well. For everything else it's the same. Don't need to change any of the settings up there. These actions will be in the description as well. You can download it. A link will take you to my website and you'll have the option to download it there. Alright, so let's get right to the editing. So I have my mixer brush here, and I'm just going to paint the lighted areas first. Alright, go over in the dark area a little bit, come under the eye and mix it. So the mixing actually flattens the image, and when it flattens the image, it gives you the ability to remove blemishes and acne from the model's skin without any issues. It flattens the skin, and it also keeps the texture of the model's skin, so it does not look fake when you are editing or when you finish editing your image. Flattening the image also, there's no more dimension in the image once it's flattened, so you can use dodge and burn to get back the shape of the face. And yeah, so let's look at the before and after. Alright, so I'm gonna blend right here. I always say in my videos not to do it light, not to go from the dark area to the lighted area or to the light area, because it will not look good at all. So you stay in the dark areas when you're brushing, stop, go over to the bright area when you're mixing, not brushing, mixing. Alright, our brush, you're still using our brush, so you could say that. Alright, good. So I'm going to come over to the model's hand and going to do the same thing, mix. If you notice, right there, it changes everything. Right here, you see a blemish right there. Look at it. It's no longer that visible. So yeah, that's what it does. The mixer brush can be used, you know, I mean, you can use it to do a lot of things. You can even use the mixer brush on clothing to get out wrinkles and stuff like that. So you can try it as well. Alright, that looks good. Alright, before and after again. Before, after, before, after. So it smooths the skin and you still have texture, as you can see there. Alright, so the next step now is to go to the high frequency layer, and then I'm going to select the clone stamp. You could press S on your keyboard for the clone stamp, and we will be removing the pimples and blemishes. So I'm just going to lower the brush using the brackets on the keyboard. Alright, so just sample right under the pimple. Can be above it as well. Alright, so that looks good. Don't think I need to remove anything else up there, but right here, this is a no, that's not a birthmark, that's a mole. No, that's a mole. Whatever. Right there, right there. So this part is straightforward. You know exactly what I'm doing, so I don't really need to explain everything in detail. You get the drift. You can also use the patch tool to do this as well, but the clone stamp works better for me, so I just stick to the clone stamp. Right now I'm all over the place, but it's best to just go in one line or work on one section first, so you don't miss anything. But I've been doing this for so long, you know, I tend to not miss anything. Alright, that looks good. Let me zoom up a little bit more to just get right here. Sample right here and come right there. This looks good. Sometimes it's good for you to zoom right into the image, and you'll see some little things that you think that it would make a difference, but once you adjust them and you zoom out, you'll see where it makes a lot of difference in your image. So try not to rush when you're editing your images. Take your time and edit. What you could do, you could just pause the video and just clean up the skin, and then just fast forward the video to the dodge and burn, because that's the next step. See, we have, fix this right here. The makeup artist, I'm going to put the link in the description as well. You can check out his work. Beauty Pleasures, that's the name of the makeup artist business. So that looks good. Let's look at the before and after. Let me come down to the model's hand and see if I need to remove anything here. Maybe right here, right there. That looks good. Perfect. Oh, we need to work on the hand as well right here. I think that looks perfect. Alright, so the next step now is to do the dodge and burn. So I'm going to close the this layer right here, and then go up to the dodge and burn panel or action, and then the last one is the burn. So I'm going to work on the burn right now, and the burn is basically doing contouring. So you're working the dark area. So I'm going to press B on the keyboard for my brush, get it smaller. I'm going to put the flow at 1%, and then I'm just going to paint. When you're painting, when you're doing the dodge and burn, try not to add a lot of dodging or a lot of burn, because it will look unrealistic and you don't want that. So that's one of the reasons why I put it at 1%, and you should just apply a little dodge and burning. So how I actually learned to do dodge and burning, I actually watch the makeup artists when they're doing the highlighting and the contouring, so I have an idea of how it should be. And because the image was flattened, it's good to do dodge and burn to get back the dimension of the model's face. Alright, the shape of the model's face. Alright, so look at the before and after. So you see the difference? Good. I'm going to go to the dodge now, so we'll be doing the highlighting. I don't necessarily need to highlight the nose bridge here because it's already highlighted. So I'm just going to highlight right here, the forehead. Going to highlight the chin. And then I'm going to highlight under the model's eye. Right there and right here. Good. So let's look at it before and after. Good. Now that we've finished with the dodge and burning for the face, we're going to come down to the model's neck. I'm going to go back to the what's this? Oh, another thing that you could do as well. Seeing that you work on the model's face, it's best to do a different dodge and burn for the neck and the hand. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click back on the background layer here and then go to dodge and burn. And then I'm going to move this to the top. So I'm going to click on that and then I'm going to press on Control Shift right bracket. It brings it to the top. And then you could maybe name this hand, neck, whatever you want to name it. You could name this face. You don't really necessarily have to do this, but you know, I was going to type Facebook just now. Face. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the top one because we're doing the hand and neck. So I'm just going to go to the highlighting. So right there is highlighted. And also, you can, if you do not know, alright, this is a trick, or this is a useful tip. When you're dodging and burning, highlighting or contour, it's basically you painting in the light area for highlighting, which would be the dodge, and painting in the dark area for burn, which would be the area that you have no light, right? And that would be contouring. So this is the light area. There are times that the area is already lighted. You don't need to add any more light to it if it's obvious. But you can just maybe add contour to show the contrast, basically. Alright, so under the neck here is a little bit dark. I don't think I need to darken it. But sometimes you can, if it's too dark, you can just use the highlighting or the dodge to highlight a little bit. Alright, so there's not much I need to do with the shoulder and the hand on the neck. You know, there's not much I need to do, but let's look at the before and after. Before and after. Alright, so the next step is to what is the next step? I think I'm going to clean up the eyes a little bit. So I'm going to scroll into the eyes. And then I'm going to go to clean teeth and eyes. That's my action. On the brush, I'm going to change this to the flow to about 27%. And then I'm going to paint the red section of the model's eye. We don't want it to be too white because, you know, it would be unrealistic if it's too white. I think I can work on getting rid of some of these. So I'm going to go back down to the frequency separation layer. I'm going to click on the high. Then I'm going to press J on my keyboard for the patch tool. Normally the patch tool is under the healing brush section. If you see the healing brush right here. But just press J. What you could do, you could also do Control J and it will toggle through all of them, and that's it. So I'm going to try to make some adjustments to the white section of the model's eye. It's too red. These veins. So I'm basically just making a selection for the section I like to remove and bring it over to the white section here. It's not going to look that perfect. I don't want it to look perfect because if it looks too perfect, it's going to look unrealistic, and that's what we want to avoid. Let's look at it before and after though. I'm going to come down to the original document, and then I'm going to hold on Alt on the keyboard and then press this. So that's the before, that's the after. It looks much better. Alright, don't think I need to do anything else with that. That's just how our eyes are naturally, so we just want to just get rid of some of the redness from our eye, and then that's it. We don't need to do anything else on it because we want our image to look realistic as possible. Alright, so the next step now is to color the image. So if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I always go to color balance and I go to shadows, and for the yellow I always make some adjustments. So I'm going to put this at 5. Well, that's too much. That's 52. 5. Before and after, just a subtle change, nothing too much. Alright, 5 works good for me. Then I'm going to come back down to the adjustment layer here. I'm going to go to brightness and contrast, and I'm going to put my contrast at 10. So I'm add some contrast to the image. Let's look at it before and after for the contrast. Before, after. You might not see anything, but it did a lot. Alright, the next step, no. Actually, there's no next step. That is it for the image. No, I think I'm going to crop this image. I'm going to crop it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say Control Shift E, and it merges everything. And then Control J. Actually, no, I don't need to Control J. All I need to do is to go over to the clone stamp, to the crop tool by pressing C on the keyboard, and then I'm going to move this over here. But remember that you have to change it to the size that you want it to be. I always use the 4:5 or 4:5 ratio, or just 8:10. So when I upload it to Instagram, it fills the entire screen. So I'm going to crop it right here. You could have cropped this before. I could have actually cropped this image before I edit it, but there are times when I just edit the image and then crop it after. So I'm going to press enter on the keyboard. That's it. You could zoom back up in the image and make some final adjustment. I could still do a lot of edits to this, but nah, for the sake of the video, I'm not going to do anything else. So that looks good, and I am going to save it now. Let me just, I need a background for this. I'm going to come here, layer, background, good. I'm just going to save it. So it saves in Lightroom. So that's it. So that's the before, and that's the after. Before, after. Before, after. Before, after. Before, after. Alright, so I'm done with that. The next step now is to save this for Instagram. I have some shortcuts here, so I'm just gonna put my logo on the image now. I love to put my watermark, you know, up that side. I don't want it to be distracting, so I just put it right there. And I'm gonna save it to my Instagram. I'm gonna save it to my Dropbox, because this is a shortcut for Dropbox as well. And then I'm gonna go to my Dropbox, and you're gonna see it there. Dropbox, where is it? I saved it here, and it should come right here, and there's the image. Yes, ready for Instagram. Let's look at the file size. 348 kilobyte. Alright guys, so thank you for watching my video. More videos coming soon. Remember to follow me on Instagram, and yeah, this is my Instagram. And also I have a wedding page as well, so you can follow me at Weddings by Andredesignz. And I do real estate as well, so if you want to see my real estate photography, it's real estate landscape. I haven't been updating this page. And I also have a personal page, so personal stuff right here. Alright, good. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.